much for coming out. I want to thank Rick. I want to thank Buck.
No, thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Buck Biddle. And I don't know if now is the time to sing happy birthday to Buck or not, but today is Buck's birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Buck. Happy birthday to you.
Jonathan, can you introduce your associates here?
Absolutely. I also want to thank Karen for being part of this. Well, I'm on the 10th. It's the 10th of June. So I'm going to be turning the big 41 on the 10th of June. So I know he's only 21 today, and I'm 41. So he gets younger, I get older. I do want to introduce our staff that we have today. We've got a lot of folks running around with the Paton Army shirts. We've got James Massey, and we have Greg over at the grill over there. We've got Amy Lynn Gordon, my campaign manager, is right here. And we have Connie Pellman, who many of you know. She's come up here a lot with me, and we drove together. I don't know where Connie went off to, but she's around here.
I'm right here.
All right. So we have a great group of people that are working. And I have my tracker here. I want to thank the Democratic Party for having a tracker here to follow my every movement. And we'll get into that in a second. The reason I wanted to talk to you today is because of what's happening in our country. And today is actually an anniversary of a very important event in American history. It is the anniversary, the 68th anniversary of D-Day, happened today. And when you think about the courage that it took for those Army Rangers, for those sailors, for those American servicemen that landed on D-Day, it was anything but certain what was going to happen. And I was just talking to James, and he said that Dwight Eisenhower had 2 speeches prepared.
He did.
He had a speech prepared if they succeeded, and he had a speech prepared if they failed.
I think I can quote it.
So we had 2 speeches available. And the reason for that was he didn't know what the outcome was going to be. And every moment in American history that we've come to a crossroads, we never know what that outcome is going to be. And it's important that we know that our forefathers that came before us, they had to fight without knowing what the eventual outcome was going to be. It's interesting because Eisenhower, when he became president, there was a painting that was commissioned. It was a painting of the Declaration of Independence, the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And the painter of that painting passed away in the middle of painting. And Eisenhower ordered that it should be hung in the White House anyway, because he said the blank spaces that were there, they represented all of us. They represented the fact that we could see ourselves in that painting, because the story of America is not yet over. It's just beginning. That's where we are today. We're at a crossroads. We're at a crossroads between 2 very different ideas for how this country is going to go forward. And when you think about that difference, think about it this way. There are those who believe in one set of values that believe that it's those who receive the tax dollars that are most important. There's those who believe in those who are paying the taxes in the first place. The tax takers and the taxpayers. When we get to the point when there are more people taking taxes than are paying taxes, we've gone over the edge into socialism. That's not what we want as a nation. That's not what we can endure as a nation. That's not what our founding fathers intended when they created this nation in the first place. I look at our history, and I know that there are 2 different value systems that we're facing right now. And our opposition with Ann Kirkpatrick, she believes in something very different than what I believe. She and her side, they believe in a lot of different things. They believe in litigation. We believe in liberty. They believe in regulation. We believe in responsibility. And they believe that our values in our country and our liberties are protected by liberal lawyers, reporters, and the ACLU. And we believe that those liberties are protected for over 200 years by American soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines. That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. We have to stand firm in what's coming. We are at a crossroads. Now, I know people think it's going to be a difficult fight. When you look at this district, it goes all the way from Marana in the south, all the way up to Utah in the north. It is the largest district that is not an entire state in the entire country. It is the size of Pennsylvania. And we're traveling to every single corridor in this district. We're going everywhere. We're visiting with people, and we hear the same things in every single place. Every place we go, people tell me something very simple. They say, you know what? We cannot deal with the federal government any longer. We have a federal government that is affecting the forest here in this area, in the White Mountains. We have a federal government that's stopping the Navajo generating station from going forward, which is affecting the growers in Marana, and it's also affecting the Navajo in the north. It's affecting jobs. We have the Resolution Mine that's been blocked by this federal government. That's stopping jobs. We cannot go on like this any longer. Now, you look at this country and you look at the direction that the president wants to take us. We saw in the last election cycle, we saw the country going away from that. We saw the country saying enough is enough. And as Karen just said, we also saw a governor who was willing finally to stand up and show some leadership. And it isn't an accident that we see that kind of leadership is coming from a state, is coming from a local government, and not from the federal government. Because governors and mayors know that they have to balance their budgets. They're responsible for balancing that budget because they can't continue printing money the way the federal government does. Well, if we can do that in the state of Wisconsin, we can do that in the state of Arizona, and you know what? We can do that with this other broken state of the United States of America right here. We need to fix it. We need to fix it by taking our hands away and letting businesses, letting taxpayers, letting simple, normal Americans do what they need to do to make this country great. I want to close with this. We talked about the Army, and we talked about our military in the very beginning. I served as an Army soldier, served in Iraq, and before I went, it was after my very first year in the Arizona State Legislature, I was called up for active duty for the first time to go to a wonderful place called Fort Benning, Georgia. Fort Benning, Georgia is the home of the U.S. Army Infantry School. And I went to infantry school for the entire summer, and I think it was 2005. And it was probably one of the hottest experiences of my life until I landed in Iraq. And while I was there was a place there that I and my fellow lieutenants, we called Building 4. But it's known throughout the Army as Infantry Hall. And there's a statue there. It's a statue of a soldier. His right arm is raised, and below him there is a inscription that says, "Follow me." Wherever you may go, whatever you may do, you'll hear it. You'll hear it in the cadences that soldiers call while they march, and you'll hear it in the greetings they give one another as they salute. Follow me. And the reply, it's always the same. Lead the way. I've thought a lot about, through this campaign and throughout my life, what those words mean not only to myself, but to this nation. And their message comes clear, with crystal clarity. Leaders do not lead from the rear. They lead from the front. And today, on this day, on the anniversary of D-Day, the soldiers, the sailors, the airmen, and the Marines who sacrificed everything, they lead the way in our hearts and in our future. Thank you very much.
I think we're ready to start eating.
Good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Chris Cato.
I'm glad you could make it out today.
Yeah. I was just telling him I was just admiring his camera, how small it is. And when I went to ASU for my undergraduate, the computers were the size of a room.
Oh, wow.
So, that was in the 60s.
Do you follow the other guys around?
Just you.
Just me.
Yeah, I know that. That's a little bit of an ego boost for you.
It is a bit of an ego boost.
That's okay. That's what Colin said, that make you feel better. But I also track CD9, so there's 7 Republicans there.
What happens if I do an event on the same time then?
We have interns.
Have interns. Are you located at the same?
I'm out of Phoenix.
So you're out of Phoenix.
So I get to do lots and lots of driving.
Well, we do too. So anyway.
Yeah, appreciate the kindness, sir.
And the reason is
Do my
that,
job.
Because there is a fire danger in the area, we were told that, I guess the rule is in the area we cannot have a open flame from charcoal. So that's the reason why we're trying to be safe, trying to protect the forest, and protect the forest health. So that's why it is the way it is. I hope you enjoy the hot dogs and the hamburgers, and thank everybody who's been participating. Thank you.
Somebody eat?
They offered. I figured I'd wait till everyone else, you know,
I think they have
got
a plate.
everything.
You can go in line.
All right, if you guys insist. If the man himself is offering. Well, I appreciate it, sir.
No problem.
And,
And Karen, give it up for Karen, and Rick, and Buck, and Walter, Johnny. So I want to thank all of you for coming. We've got a great group here tonight, and we've got a great turnout. Keep in mind, the whole reason why we're doing this is because of the future of our country. We have a huge responsibility to do everything we can to protect and preserve this country. The oath that I swore was to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. And that document is precious to us. That document is everything to us. We cannot give it away. We cannot bargain it away. This is my message to the President. This document is not for sale. So, thanks for coming out. Thanks for my Democratic tracker for following me. Because, once again, he is proving that we are going to win this primary. So thank you very much. You all have a great night. And if I haven't had a chance to talk to you, make sure I find you before you leave. Thank you very much.
oh, this is great.